I don't use my checking account the way most people do anymore. And honestly, I don't believe that most people should be using their checking account the way they are. They're using it the normal way, the way that we've all kind of fallen into. When you get a direct deposit, it goes to your checking account. When you set up all those direct deposits with your new job, everybody says, bring a voided check or bring something to do with your checking account. When you're paying your bills, you pay them from your checking account. When you're out shopping, you swipe your debit card, comes out of your checking account. If you have your bills set up on auto pay, you set them up to your checking account. It's the one place that you kind of just always have gone to. That's how you've always done it. That's kind of how you were taught. Your parents kept their money in their checking account. I mean, especially if you're my age or older, your parents were writing checks at the grocery store or wherever, like a literal check. So yes, they came out of your checking account. But what that also does is you have thousands of dollars sitting there and it's earning pretty much nothing. If you're lucky, if you have good financial habits, you're gonna move some to savings every once in a while, but that's if you're lucky and if you have those good habits. And whether the reason that you do it is because it's what you were taught and so it's familiar to you, or it's kind of just the default, overall, it's pretty much the easiest way to do it. And that's exactly what I was doing up until about a month ago. About the middle of last year, I got a new job. I went from a series of like smaller jobs to an actual career. I'm a dental hygienist. And so I have been working, earning lots more money than I ever have. And I continue to see my balance growing. And I realize this money is earning nothing. It's earning 0.1% APY. My checking account is pretty much serving as the holding tank for all of my money. And when I actually started to think about it, or really stopped to think about it, I was like, wait, this is not the right way. This is not the way that things should be done. My money is sitting there, but it has no job. It's not working for me. And I want my money to work for me. That's part of the reason that I invest. I want to put my money into an investment so that it can earn more money while I'm not doing anything. So while I was earning money and my balance was growing and I was saving for all the things that I want in my life, whether it's a vacation or a gadget or whatever, my money wasn't growing. My money was only growing by the amount that I was able to earn. And just like when it comes to like a 401k match, if you work for a company and they're going to give you a 3% 401k match and you're not contributing 3%, it's money that is free money that you're just not taking advantage of. And if you've been here for a minute, you know I love a deal, you know I love a bank bonus, you know I love saving money. So not earning money for doing nothing is really not going to work for me. It is not. I'm kind of surprised that it worked for as long as it did. But I think a reason that it did work as long as it did is because when you have your money all in checking and use your account the normal way, it kind of encourages a little bit of laziness. And if I'm anything, I am lazy. I have to be honest. You can look at your balance and say, oh, I have $7,000. I have $8,000. I have $9,000. I'm good. I don't need to, I'm saving. I'll save. I'll put the money into the savings account. I'll do that later. And the longer you do that, the more you are missing out on opportunities to earn money for doing literally nothing. In my opinion, your checking account, to use like an analogy, it should be more of like a hallway that your money passes through. It shouldn't be like the living room where your money hangs out in. The checking account, it should briefly be there. Like nobody goes home and they've had a long day at work and then they go and they hang out in the hallway. No, nobody does that. You're gonna go to the living room and hang out in the living room. So that's the same way that my checking account acts now. It is just a place for my money to pass through. And now it's sitting in the living room, which is my savings account. And it was really simple to change everything over. I changed my direct deposits to my savings. Totally can be done, even though the default language, the default ask is pretty much your checking, totally can go into savings. The only bill that I have that can't come out of my savings account is my IRS bill. I have an auto debit, but all I did was go on my savings account and checking account website. It's the same site, Capital One. I set up an automated transfer from my savings, where I keep all my money, to my checking a couple days before the IRS is gonna take their payment. So that way I don't even have to have that $300 that I pay them sitting in my savings earning a paltry amount of interest. I literally have that automated. Everything else, the only other things that you can't put on savings that I've found so far would be Venmo. If you get Venmo coming to you or coming out of your account, it needs to come out of your checking. I very rarely Venmo people, but when I do, it's so simple to just go on and transfer the money. when I get a Venmo in, it transfers to my checking and then I just put it right over to the savings. It's the same, like I said, it's Capital One, it's super simple. Also, Target Red Card, they need to come from your checking account. And although I do live in Minnesota, I am not a Minnesotan. I'm not from here. I'm not like a Target girly from birth. I don't go to Target that much. Like I go to Target probably once every 2 months, once every 3 months. So it's not really a big deal about having to have the balance in the Target Red Card. The only thing is I might actually forget. I might swipe my red card and totally forget that it's not coming out of my savings, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's hope that I don't forget, I guess. Another thing that I use my checking account for is to mobile deposit checks. I have found that if you want to mobile deposit a check, same bank, Capital One, to my savings account, they're like up 4 days until it's available. But if I mobile deposit to my checking account, literally it's like instant. Like in 5 minutes, it's like, okay, your funds are available. You can throw the check away, like we're good, which is a big improvement over my last banks. Most of my banks have been like, it's gonna take 2 days and then keep your check for 6 months or whatever, but it automatically goes to the checking. So then I just go online and transfer it to the savings. Like it's so simple. There are, a couple reasons I need to have that checking account, but it's really just a pass through. Like I said, it's a hallway. It's just a means to an end for me to get where I'm going, or my money to get where it needs to go. And a big reason that I'm actually able to do all this, I will say, is because I pay for everything with a credit card. I use my Capital One credit card whenever I go to the Capital One Cafe, because again, saving money, you save 50% off of drinks. So when I go there, my matcha latte is like 4 something rather than 9 something. And then for everything else, literally everything, including, well, not literally everything, not my rent, because there's a fee to pay my rent and my car insurance. Ooh, speaking of, well, my car insurance comes out of my savings account. See, I almost thought like, oh shit, it's coming out of my checking. No, it's not. I set up the auto pay with my car insurance and renter's insurance with savings. But the fee to pay my auto and renter's insurance and my fee to pay rent are over 2%. So it wouldn't make sense to pay for those with my credit card. So those come out of other accounts. But besides that, everything else I pay for with that credit card. And not only that, I earn 2% cash back. So I've gotten a couple of statements already. I think the first time I earned $40 and something, and then the second one was $30 and something. And again, I was going to spend the money anyway. I'm not spending more money. I'm only spending the money I have. I'm only spending the money that I set aside for my purchases. I just put them on my credit card. And then basically I get a 2% discount on everything, which again, saving money for doing nothing. I'm so here for it. And I'm not even only just saving money. I'm building my credit. I'm showing the credit card companies that I am a reputable borrower. Is that the right way to put it? I'm showing them responsible. I think that's what I was trying to say. I'm showing the credit card companies that I'm a responsible borrower, which means that my credit score is going to increase. And this is America. You need a strong credit score. And the real reason that it works is because everything is earning interest. Like I said, I'm only putting that $300 to my savings account a couple of days before the IRS is taking their money. So everything is in my savings account. And then I have an emergency fund and another account, which is earning even more interest. So every single thing is earning interest. I don't have to do any manual moving. Everything is automatic. All my bills, auto paid. Transfers, auto paid. IRS bill, auto paid. Everything is automatic. There's nothing to move manually. Everything is effortless. There's no thinking. There's no babysitting. And I'm not optimizing and trying to get the best rate here and APY chasing or rate chasing, anything like that. But the difference between a 0.1% interest rate on a checking account and a 3.3 interest rate on my savings, it did go down just a tiny bit. That's not nothing. Like that's consequential. Those are multiple percents. And when you're talking about $9,000, that's not nothing. I'm going to talk about how much interest I made from my account in my next video. So if you're interested in that video, definitely subscribe and come back next week and we'll chat about that. But the real thing is, I'm just trying to make my life easier. I'm trying to make less choices, because the less choices I have to make, the less opportunity there is for me to choose not to make the choice I need to make. And that leaves me in a position where I actually don't want to be, because I mentioned I'm lazy. So less choices, the better. The less babysitting, the better. The less I have to think about this, the more my mind is clear and I can use it to think about other things that are important to me. Because it's really not important to me, these intricacies about my checking account, my savings account, my high yield, my rate, my money, my this, my pay. All this is literally not important to me. I want to live life. I don't want to be thinking about my finances 24/7. Ultimately, what it boils down to is I didn't need a better checking account. I needed my checking account to stop being my main character. And like I said, I don't think most people should be using their checking account the way they use it. However, if you are like paycheck to paycheck, you probably have things that are more important to you than what I've just talked about. If you don't have savings, if you're not saving for things that you want, this probably doesn't mean a lot to you. But I would encourage you to start saving. Get a high yield savings account, get a regular savings account, or even just a checking account that earns interest. Because if you are paycheck to paycheck, having a little extra money is not going to hurt. So there are plenty of checking accounts out there that have an interest rate of 3% or more. Maybe not a lot, but there is definitely at least one checking account out there that has an interest rate that's on par with many savings accounts. So if you want to stop making your checking account be your main character and start earning money for doing nothing, think about stopping using your checking account the way that most people do, the normal way. Just because it's normal, just because it's what you've always done, just because it's easy, just because it's the default, it doesn't really mean that it's the best way to do it.